What's good? We're a little bit under 2 months out from Badou Jack challenging Adonis Stevenson for basically the lineal light heavyweight championship of the world. We back. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boston Clinic and more. Y'all know what it is. And, I just can't think of anybody in the boxing world at any point really that's, universally hated like Adonis Stevenson. I mean, I know I'm not from Canada, and I don't have strong Canada ties. I'm right by Canada. But, I don't know about up there. But I don't know anybody in the boxing community, and I'm pretty much well-versed in the North America, UK, that pulls for Adonis Stevenson, really. Everybody wants Badou Jack to win this fight. Even so much that people forget that Badou Jack kind of evaded and ducked Dimitri Bivol. But I guess when you duck a guy to fight the guy, it's acceptable ducking. And I can accept that. You want to beat the lineal champion of the world, the guy who beat the guy. The guy who beat the number one, who was the number one champion at the time, like it or not, after Chad Dawson got knocked out by Andre Ward and went back up from super middleweight light heavyweight, he still was that guy. Stevenson iced him. And Stevenson been living off that knockout punch for way too long, that first round knockout. And people want, Stevenson out of there. And if he beats Badou Jack, will he get all the credit in the world? Will will the fans put him on their shoulders and rah, Adonis Stevenson? No. For that to happen, Adonis Stevenson's going to have to shoot Kovalev a fair one. Somehow get Andre Ward to come back and beat him as well. And then the fans might forget about the 4 or 5 years of the bullshit that he's taking us through with mediocre fight after mediocre fight. This fight is not gonna make up for that. But for Badou Jack, this is definitely a richest to richer situation for him. If he's able to knock off Adonis Stevenson, the fans will forever be in debt to Badou Jack, because that's how much people don't like and damn near probably hate Adonis Stevenson. Years of him, wasting our TV viewerships with bum bashing. And Jack, a lot of people respect Badou Jack because he got knocked out by Derek Edwards around the same time that Jalen Love got knocked out by Porky Medina, I believe. And people wrote off Badou Jack, but guess what? Badou Jack, he got back on the horse and rode the horse and tamed the horse. And forever since then, he's been exceeding people's expectations. And Adonis Stevenson, ever since he beat Chad Dawson, he been pissing off people's expectations of him. He ran off on the Kovalev fight, even though they tried to do it again, okay? They did. They tried to do the Kovalev fight again. And Kovalev had a network ties, and Adonis Stevenson people won the purse bid and wanted to take it to Showtime, and Kovalev said no. And people said, oh, Kovalev pulled out. But hey, he got a deal with HBO. And, the Andre Ward fight didn't happen for him. Obviously, he didn't want the John Pascal fight. Every fight that was a big fight for him, he didn't want it. He evaded it. And people take notice of that. The fans take notice of that. And for him to take this fight, everybody's hoping that Badou Jack can do it. It ain't impossible, but they hoping Badou Jack can beat him. And this fight is on the same card as the same night. It's the double main event feature from Canada to Brooklyn Barclays and Keith Thurman TBA return bout. So it should be a nice night of boxing, a lot of boxing talk. But I wanted to plug this video in here as a bridge video for the day, but also to keep people on their toes and get ready for May 19th for a good fight. I think it's gonna be a good fight. Some people think Stevenson gonna win. Some people think Badou Jack gonna win. I think more people believe Stevenson gonna win, but you gotta remember Stevenson 40 years old. He turned pro at 29. But we all can universally agree that everybody hopes that Badou Jack's going to win this fight. Everybody hopes Badou Jack's going to do work and, tear Adonis Stevenson ass out the front. Because Adonis has been riding that Chad Dawson wave too long. It's been like 3 years or 3.5 years, 4 years since he faced a mandatory. So it's not like we've been sitting through mandatory bouts after mandatory bouts. We've been sending him bum bashing and getting exceptions from the WBC for nothing, not even for mandatory fights. And you look at it, the ring stripped him of the lineal championship belt. And he still thinks his shit don't stink. He still thinks he's top dog in 175. But it's time for him to prove it. Could he beat everybody at 175? Possibly, yeah. At 40, you know, even though he's a young 40 in the sense of limbs and body and taking abuse. But at 40, I mean, to get everybody who needs to get in the ring and the compromise that he's usually not used to compromising in, I mean, used to doing, excuse me, hard to see him getting Kovalev after Jack, Kovalev, Bivol, Beterbiev in the ring, especially after Beterbiev ran off. It's trying to run off on the promoter they share, Yvonne Michaels, and the advisor they share, Al Hammond, to go to Top Rank. So, I mean, you know, this is going to have to be his Super Bowl right now. His proving point. It's not even a solid proving point, you know. He needed that war to that Kovalev fight, but we'll settle for Badou Jack. Hopefully, Jack can upset Stevenson and make some big fights happen in the division. Y'all know what it is. It's TBC and more. We gone.